So let's start with the first presenter from Techno.
Most employers have code of ethics that they require for their employees to follow. A code of ethics can help employees maintain positive company culture and respect others in their workplace. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kenneth Castrodes, the peacemaker or the glue of the Techno team, and this is our presentation for the case of Valerie. So first, ato sang kanon i-recap tong story. So Marjorie is a supervisor of the Northwood Local Office of the Helping Hand, and she's been on the position for 2 years, while Valerie has been working for 11 years on the Helping Hand company. So it is important to know first each side for us to look at the bigger picture, for us to identify the problem as the whole. The trigger here is the issue. The trigger here or the issue we identified on our team was three. Three. So mo ni siya ang key issues. First is insubordination, second is insolence, third is low-level competence. However, I don't think Valerie here has a low level of competence. So since she's been working for 11 years. However, as I can see here, Valerie here is an unappreciated employee. So she's actually not motivated. However, the mere fact that she caused a scene, which is a clear implication of breaking the code of conducts. So in addition, for our presentation, another key issue would arise, and it would be the misconduct. Next, it is necessary to identify the problem. Yes, it is very, very necessary to identify the cause of the problem. So according to Eckhart Tolle, the past has no power over the present moment. Well, in this case, it does. In order for us to identify, understand the behavior, one must identify the root. Now, the issue is she thinks she's higher based on years of labor. But power isn't just based on years. You can be a college degree holder and still be a dumb. No one has the knowledge of everything. However, Valerie here thinks she does. So the necessary to what you call this. First is to identify the issues within the employees, ang amo sa among team, then to assess them with solutions. Next is ignoring the problem that can ruin the workplace environment and affect the company's overall performance. Next is the cause of the problem can reduce production rates, toxicity on the workplace, conflicts, and affects the company's progress. So, what are the available options? So first, ang among sa among team is explain the consequence of additional violation. So another na po siya violation sa personal information ni Valerie, since daghan naman to siya ba, taas naman kayo to yung kuan. Okay, naman to siya mga kaso cases way before pa nga si Marjorie ang nahimong supervisor. B. Defining social and professional issues. C. Develop clear company policies on insubordination. D is effective communication in insubordination interventions. E. General meeting and role division and social responsibilities. F. Get HR involved, which is very, very good. Kinahanglan din mo na siya i-involve ang HR. Next is re-establish the rules in the workplace.
Sige, Ken.
So, yes
Ken,
ma'am.
pwede ta mag-focus sa aning kaning dapat i-present ninyo kaning 3 minutes nga concluding statement na lang ninyo gyud. Kay marag pare-pareho
Okay ma'am.
naman mo niya kani siyang kung kamo si Marjorie or kung ikaw si Marjorie, unsa imong first reaction kay wala na dito sa inyong questions nga gipasa sa ako right? Sige.
Yes ma'am.
Sige, Ken. Thank you, Ken.
So select the Okay, sige ma'am. So select ang among optimum solution is effective communication in insubordination interventions. Talk to Valerie privately and calmly and remind her to separate her personal life to her work. And lastly, describe how the solution should be implemented. First is to set boundaries when hiring new employees. Second is implement insubordination intervention to prevent future conflicts in the workplace. Third is have always an open communication channel for their employees so that the misunderstanding will not grow and foster. So for me, og ako as si Marjorie, isa ra gyud ang ako ang buhaton gyud ana sa iyang which is an immediate termination. It may seem harsh and very much disturbing to hear. I would immediately fire her on the instant and take over her work for the meantime. Why? So first, the data already shown from her personal profile that she's unhandleable and she's also unprofessional. And other thing, she already raised her voice on you. So as a supervisor, you should impose power too. One thing you should greatly consider that she's using her dominance for 11 years in service. As a boss, you should impose your dominance to knowing dominance too for your other employees to know that you are the boss. Because aware naman sila sa nahitabo kay nitaas naman niya tingog. So para sa ako mas nindot gyud na siya nga immediate termination. Kay grabe na gud pud kayo imo pa siya katagan og chance kataas na kaya siya og kanang mga kaso. Then usahan ko na siya pagbuhat. So inani ako siya iingon kang Valerie. So it seems Miss Valerie since your service is no di ba lang siya to nga ikaw na libuhat, ikaw na supervisor. Ngana ko, it it seems Miss Valerie since your service is no longer needed at this instant. You can take your belongings and now exit the premises. And then I will look at my other employees and just say, let's get back to work, shall we? Kung na siya, ma'am.
Alright, kasakit oy. I-fire man day dira gihap
Oo.
diretso ko no.
Wala mo gilaing choice, ma'am. Kay taas naman kayo itong ihang kwal, ma'am. Ihang cases, ma'am.
Okay, sige da. Mao man na interpretation na niya. Ato na i-process later ha. Okay, let's
Okay, ma'am.
move on to the next presenter. Thank you so much, Techno team. Next presenter, kinsa ito? Si Oscar and team.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Sige, sige ka. Focus na lang sa duha ka questions ha kay medyo common naman mo in terms of 1 to 5 nga questions. So focus na lang ta dito sa summary ninyo and then kung kamo si Valerie unsa inyong reaction. Sige.
Yes. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I will be the one to present sa group. So the case study is entitled "A No in the Field." So the summary of the case is that Valerie refuses to do the task given by her supervisor. So she's showing a very unprofessional approach sa iyang supervisor uh, within the workplace without any valid reason. So question is, if you were Marjorie, what would be your first reaction and what would be your first move as Valerie's supervisor? So, as we have discussed, based from the situation, ma'am, our first reaction probably will be the same as what Marjorie had faced. So, syempre, masyak with on why nga tong approach ni Valerie or why the approach of Valerie was unexpectedly inappropriate, in which it could lead into uh, na, immediate termination sa iyang job. So, uh, ano so mahunahunahon po nato nga curious ta ano nga tong iyang approach as her supervisor, is there something wrong sa iyang pamamalakad. So question niya iyang pag-manage. So um, what would be your first move as battery supervisor? So ang among paan is to instruct Valerie to step into a private conversation and ask her the reason of her inappropriate behavior or duty. So we will ask Valerie the reason of her refusal on why she don't want to do the task given to
Daw
her.
sa ko, ha, tatay.
Is there any valid
Sorry.
oh, sorry. Is there any valid reason why nga to yung approach? Maybe because she is known for not having an outstanding performance for almost 11 years. And yet she never received any good evaluation. So, and if wala siya valid reason, ganong niya itong nabuhat, she will be fired immediately without having second thoughts. Unless kung agree si Valerie sa nga buhaton ng assignment, then she will not be terminated. but will only receive a you know, warning or notice. If ever in any additional insubordination, pwede siya ma-fire dito. So, since ang iyang gibuhat man is dili gani inexcusable siya sa workplace, is very unprofessional, and yeah, unless there, unless there's any valid reason sa iyang behavior, um, pwede ra ma and also not only nga dili lang si Valerie ang anon kanang tagan of notice, hatagan po nato idea ang other ang yung coworkers ang mga other employees, uh, nga any such behavior will not be tolerated. So that is all, guys. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Team Convergers. Sige. Yes, Sai, kamo ang sunod, Sai. So, pwede mo mag-comment sa ilaha ha through
Ug wala na ni
chat.
sunod, ma'am.
Kinsa man
Ready
tong
na mi.
kinsa man tong nag-three gaina sila Jack. Jacqueline, kamoy next Jack. Aha naman ni si Jack. Hi Jack. Sige,
So ako
unsa
na
man?
lang sunod,
Sige,
ma'am.
sige Sai.
So direct na ta since nagapas man og time. So ang reaction na lang gid namo is supposedly first reaction gid nato nga yung ana ma-shock man gid ta. Kinsa may dili ma-shock og singkahan ka sa imong subordinate imong mga empleyado or sa imong coworker nga imong gisugo. So second is ma-disappointed kay lagi. So murag nagpakita siya og kanang batasan nga dili maayo kunya disappointed pod tungod makapangutana pod ka sa imong kaugalingon o if sakto ba imuhang pag-supervise sa ilaha or pag hatag og mga trabaho or unsa ba. So ang akong himuon is ang pinaka primero na akong himuon is magpatawag ko og private meeting dili lang kay baliri lang pati na tanan to ay ang amo dayong himuon. So ah magpatawag mi og private meeting dili lang siya kay baliri lang entire office workers namo or kaubanan sa trabaho. Then ang ikaduha, so mangutana ko why nga ing ana ang batasan ni Marjorie or unsay ing ana iyang ginapakita sa opisina or sa workplace. Then ay sa ko maghatag og unsay maayo nga desisyon kung hawaon ba siya or tagaan mo siya chance. If ever nga nindot ang dili maayo pud ang feedback sa mga kauban nako sa workplace, for example nga ginahimo lang to niya kay mo lagi kay 11 years naman siya na nagtrabaho. So dili man gid mabutang sa ato kang ay mabutang man gid sa atong una-una nga mostly nga trabahante nga labi na og taas og work experience. Pero bitag mahambugero na sila nga, oy mas senior ko nimo or unsa ba. Even though mas taas siya ay mas taas ka og posisyon sa iya ha. So ang ikaduha, so since naghatag naman og mag-take na kog action nga tagaan siya warning, if ever mautro pa man gani siya utro nga sitwasyon or dili lang sa ako ang hiniyahimuon or sa uban trabahante ni Baliri. So diha na gid ko mag-ingon og pwede na siya ma-fire out. Marat na ma'am.
Alright, thank you. Thank you, Team. Sige nga team.
Team 7 ma'am.
7. Alright, sige, salamat. Next, kinsa ito? Si Harold or si Beth?
Hello, hello. Good day, everyone. We are Hextex, and this is our conclusion. Everyone, Marjorie should keep her composure and let her anger get the best of her. to maintain a positive working environment, she should concentrate and quietly release her tension. With Marjorie should resolve the query, then it to the office for further discussion and invite other assistants. Or she should begin questioning Valerie why she blatantly refused to do the task. Number five, after hearing Valerie's side, she will assist if it's valid. If not, she will likely need to report the issue of insubordination and Valerie's performance throughout the years to HR for an investigation and disciplinary measures. So sa number two, if I am this Marjorie, I should you based na sa real life, if nako na to nga situation, syempre masuko yun to. But dili na ko iklawad akong judgment kay as we all know nga employee ta na nga uh, incorporated nga employee ta na. So first mo argue pa na kadyot pero dili na ko i-cloud ang judgment kay as we read sa pista dinasay 5 administrative assistant. So isa ra man na si Marjorie sa administrative assistant, pwede ra na ihatag sa upat kung wala sila gihimo or on duty sila. So, tingnan ako. So, first, file ko formal complaint sa higher position. Kay employer naman ko, kaside ko nga, napay higher position na like manager or owner na nga incorporated kay if we read sa study sa diri nga almost 11 years na katrabaho si Valerie sa kana na work. So, if we think out of the box, nagisay connection. So, ang the best nga move sa supervisor kay mo file sa formal complaint para na mo mediate sa ilang problem tapos may investigahan. If ang anang higher position, a position like manager or ang bossing sa anang incorporated nga mo decide nga i-fire na lang na si Valerie kay grabe na lang track record nga, grabe na unethical na yung record ma'am. So, kung si supervisor magandang mo kuan mo decide kay may bias ma'am sa 11 years matinga na lang ba sa 11 years yan yung track record o pagyapon sa na-fire naniyagi nga 2 years pa na si Marjorie sa trabaho ko. Maura tamong kuan mo sa akong tamong group mo.
Sige, salamat Hextex. Tama ba ko? Alright. So, wala mo nag-7, di ay? Gamay ra mo? Kulang mo members? Or maura ni ang present karon?
Maura ang present karon mo.
Okay. Alright, let's proceed to the next group. Kinsay sunod? Kinsa pa man eh. Sige, kinsa may mo sunod? Kamo na lay volunteer. Wala na sila. Naman ni silang sige, kinsa man na? Bagtech, sige. Bagtech, sa Bisaya pa. Sige, sige Jane.
Kami na lang ma'am. So, hello everyone. I am Jane Rosales, the nanny or the group leader of the BagTech team. So, our conclusion about the case study is that in an organization, we cannot avoid the fact that some employee have a hard day or has been carrying personal problems. And maybe Valerie didn't mean the words and the actions that she did until she can't take it anymore and had enough of everything. So, basin, maybe she has family problems or emotional problems. So, most importantly, we should not judge Valerie immediately, but instead, we should try to understand her situation since she's been working for 11 years. Maybe we can we can tell or not that she had been doing her work effectively is that it's that na wala lang gid siya na hatagan og um, high evaluation kay maybe kanang ang tanaw sa iyang mga co-workers kay strikta kay siya niya di sila mo approach maybe didn't know kaning na butan pud na si Valerie. It's just na napuno lang siya atong adlaw mga nabuhaton niya. Although what Valerie did was very unprofessional and unacceptable, there is a proper and ethical way to deal with the problem. First, a thorough investigation about what happened, and then the reason, maybe investigate what is the reason why she acted like that, and then proper discussion about the incident with the people who are involved. Then siguro mag mag mag-meeting with Valerie and the witnesses and then Marjorie about what happened that day, and then think about the sanction or maybe a suspension or a warning to give to Valerie, and lastly give advice on what she should do. Then sa second question, if we are if I am Marjorie and my first or my initial reaction would be shock. Kasi, kay of course, knowing that I was just kindly giving her a command, then ano mo act man siya like mo act man siya ato nang musyagit na siya. Then if I am Marjorie, I will tell Valerie to calm down first and apologize to the other employees and tell them to continue with their work as I take Valerie to a private room to talk to her privately about sayang problem and the reason why she did that. Eventually, the incident will escalate to the head of the office, and from then on, let them take what will be the further action for this incident. Malang to, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Jane.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, next. Apatay duha ka teams. Duha na lang ba? Average. Sige. Kiza. Kaiza. Kisa mo percent sang. Hello, average team. Kisa presenter. Sige, Carl. Ah, naman si Carl. Hey, Carl. Huy, aha mo si Carl.
Pasulod pa daw, ma'am. Wait lang.
Ah, sige.
Okay na. Oh, ikaw na.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Carl Nicolas A. Villanueva, the politician sa group. So, our concluding statement is that sometimes failure to communicate could lead to an escalation of the problem until it spread to the rest of the team as well. Respect often must be earned even in the workplace. My kuan as the supervisor ni Valerie, my reaction to Valerie's behavior or attitude is ma-shock at the same time ma-upset because even though you know na about her personal file, it is unexpected yapon. My next move would be as Valerie supervisor dapat i-check jud nimo imong temper and show professionalism. And lastly, instead nga publicly rebuking Valerie, mag-schedule gyapon ka og private meeting para madisiplina ang insubordination and i-remind sa iya ang iyang job responsibilities. Maura tamang nakuan sa among team, ma'am.
Alright, salamat Carl. Nganong Gamma man ni si Gamma May man.
Ay,
Nag-uban mo. O, sige, okay ra na siya. Sige.
ma'am.
Okay, we're done with the last presenter. Si, kinsa man to? Si Jack? Exiles?
Ma'am, lahi na nga grupo ang ay lahi nga member nila mag-present ma'am, dili stable ako.
Wala yung problema. Sige, depende sa inyo ha.
Send na all.
Kisa may mo percent, Jack.
Ay, pan pala ni early ma'am.
Last no, naka-present na daing tanan after nila Jack. Basig natay wa natawag nga group.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Kami day ang group na about sa sa problem is if you were Marjorie, what would be your first reaction and what would be your next move as battery supervisor? So, ang sa amo is ang first na buhaton is the we would confronting a team member about his performance and attitude is important because have synergy and work together in efficient manner to achieve goals successfully. If we were put on the situation of Marjorie about Valerie, for us, the first thing to do is to calmly assert dominance because Marjorie has higher position and Valerie need to know that Marjorie is entitled to command her. Also, there a lot of employee watching then if Marjorie let Valerie dominate the situation while what would be the other employee would say we would ask Valerie to come in the office and explain on what situation she is in. We will give Valerie a chance to prove her worth in the company by giving a condition that she will improve her work performance and fix her attitude. Then, if she failed to meet the condition, she will be fired. Ano ma'am, mato ang idea ni Jack. Pero sa akong idea ma'am is, ano, akong gamiton tong 11 children against kang Valerie to remind him na siya ikuan na siya hikon na kailangan niya ano ang trabaho and para makatrabaho siya and hindi na ba siya ano ano i-fired is ang exchange ana is ang better performance niya if dili siya mo kuan ang same situation Japan is kuan siya i-fired para tumon.
Naglibog ko Jack or unsay 11 children. 11 years siya sa work yata.
Children with aso to.
Okay lang na. Sige. Okay. Naka-share pa ba kog screen?
Nanood ko dapat nagbasa.
Mag-share kog screen atro ha. Unsa ba ni akong gibuhat? Aya. Ayan, so madunggan ba ko ninyo ay sa pangitaon sa tamo ha kay nawa na pud ko. Balhin ta mo speakers. Sige na lang. Alright, so hapit naman ang time kaayo oy. Well, salamat kaayo sa inyong participation no. Please note that tanan nga inyong gipang storya, tanan nga inyong answers no. Tanan nga unsay naa sa inyong screen? Mawa jud ko aning kuan ba? Yeah, tanan nga answers ninyo are well appreciated. Walay sayop ato nga answer because it's a team effort and it's your team's perspective. And we know nga we differ a lot in terms of perspective. So ingani na lang ko i-sum up na lang nako sa tanan ang tanan ha. So based sa inyong mga answers, murag ang six ka groups dito na fall nga si Valerie gud ang medyo problema no. And based sa inyong answers po sa task, si Valerie gud inyong ginabasol nga cause or problema no. So, however, kung i-recall nato tong topic nato sa Gestalt bitaw of why it is difficult sometimes to see or to identify the real opportunity. And sometimes po, it is also hard for us to define or identify the real cause or the real problem because we only see what we want to see. And the six groups, kay murag na isa dito nga dili wala niya hagwa niya gibasol si Valerie si Jane yata to. Sila Jane nga group. So murag halos ang tanan murag kung kinsay gusto na to tan-awon nga sad-an siya po itong ginatan-aw no mawan gud na ang gestalt no, so we see what we only want to see. So if it's that hard to find the problem no kung naa na ta sa technopreneurship, so then it is also harder as well no, it is harder as well to find the solution and sometimes mo end up solving the wrong problem. Makita pa niyo akong screen na nag-chat, the more the merrier unsa man na. Wala mo nakita sa akong screen? O kana,
Oo.
kana na mo nakita.
Katong just
All
siguro
right.
no.
So, karon ingani siya mo na siya kung gusto i-emphasize sa inyo no kanang if we'll try to see the situation, the case study in a different angle or in a different perspective, it could be that Marjorie or katong previous nga supervisor ni Valerie ang maoy problema and dili gid si Valerie. Alright? Kay murag pareho naman ta halos og pareho na mo halos og perspective. Karon akong i-emphasize tong perspective sa isa ka group no nga si Jane Rosales and the group no. So kung tanawon nila nato siya sa lain nga anggulo, posible nga dili gid sayop ni Valerie and possibly sayop siya ni Marjorie and the previous nga supervisors ni Valerie. So unsa man nga mga grounds? So si Marjorie had been in the position for 2 years na. And sa karon lang komportable na siya no with her ability to supervise others. Si Valerie po na 39 years old have been with the company for almost 11 years. So another perspective, tama tong giingon ninyo nga it could be nga napuno na si Valerie because for how many years niya sa company, wala man lang siya nahatagan ng chance to grow. Like wala nakita ang value niya ba? No? So as a manager man good, regardless of the attitude and personality of your subordinates, no, you should have find time to talking to her relative to her life, unsay mga fears niya, unsay mga problema niya, unsay wants and needs niya, no, to show to your people that you value them the most. Pero for 2 years, wala na siya nabuhat ni Marjorie as supervisor. Although nakita na niya ang records ni Marjorie. So, prior to the explosion of Valerie, dapat nanay action gibuhat si Marjorie ba nga based sa records ing ato man so posible nga pwede nga giistorya niya unsa day problema no kay basin bag sa ansa ni deep down sa kasing-kasing ni Valerie, pag-abot ni Marjorie, nakaingon siya nga, ay salamat na anak ko'y bagong supervisor. At least basig makita niya ang akong potential, no? Basig mahatagag chance akong potential. Kay basin bag si Valerie, based on evaluation, di gyud ay siya ganahan sa iyang assignment or sa iyang task sa company. And then maurag na diha ra siya ginabutang permi. Alright? So, mo na siya, sometimes we thought nga we are doing just fine, but in reality, kita day ang problema. No? So, if you are familiar with the 4 quadrants of knowing ourselves, so you would find there nga na ay upat ka things nga pwede nimo mahibalan nimong kaugalingon. So, there are things nga we know sa atong kaugalingon nga ingana ta, and ang uban pod nakabalo nga ingana ta. So there are also things nga we know and others do not know. And there are things nga ang uban nakabalo nga ing ana ka, pero ikaw mismo sa imong kaugalingon wala kabalo nga ing ana day ka nga pagkatao. And lastly, naay mga butang nga hidden sa imuhang self and even sa others nga nagtanaw sa imuhang. No, so ana lang siya ba? Murabag sometimes we are fond of finding and pointing someone as scapegoat, and we tend to sneak out of our pen and blame others for our own mistake. So ana siya ha, kana siya ako sa ako lang po na siya nga perspective. Kung tawon na to ang lahi nga anggulo, no? Unsa man na inyong mga kuan diri basig si Valerie sab mismo ma'am kay wala kabalo sa iyang competencies, yeah? Or yeah, tama na siya basin bag for how many years na ni Valerie wala gyud siya gipa-attend og mga trainings and seminars no para ma-discover niya iyang kaugalingon. Alright, so Joshua, nag-raise hand si Joshua. Nakay gusto storya, Josh? Kanang skig ka late, unsa naman inyong mga chat din eh. Unsa pa, na ay may qualification para sa promotion, ma'am. Yes, na ay qualification para sa promotion. But as manager man good, kailangan dili ka magbase lang pud sa ilang performance, no? Kana bang as manager dapat na kay skills on empathizing. Dapat ibutang pud nato atong shoes sa atong mga empleyado. Kana bang wala pa sila nagstorya, nakabalo ka nga ing ani iyang gibati. No? Ana dapat ang pagka-leader, no? So, yeah, always have an empathy. Yeah. Tanawan ng bigger picture, tanawan ng different angle. Mo reach out sa employee kay tungod kay syempre kay si Valerie tigulang na rabaw niya, si Marjorie 2 years pa siya dito, posible nga mataha pud siya mo tong wa siya gibuhat nga move, no? So nga na ta i-weigh na to ang things, no, kung magbuhat tag decisions kay in the long run basin bag maabot sa point nga nagbasol ko sa akong decision kay mali day siya. This is not the right mali day ang problem nga akong na-define, and of course mali pud ang solution nga imuhang nabuha imong na-generate. Alright, any reactions to the other perspective nga akong gi-present? Kung naaman. Joshua, nag-raise hands gyud si Joshua.
Wala ma'am, na-click na ako.
Sige. So ano pa, kulang ra sila og team building, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, mo to siya. Kung ikaw si Marjorie, dapat nakagibuhat kay Valerie. For 2 years na ka sa company niya, ikaw ang supervisor. So for sure, kung magpakita og pangit nga attitude ang imong subordinate, mobalik gihapon na sa imo. Ha, ano sa man ni siya? Ginsa man nimo ni pagbuhi ang imong empleyado, di ba? Balik gihapon sa imuha as supervisor. So according to Dexter, lack of cooperation and teamwork. Wala ka inom. Yeah. So any reactions sa ato ang topic karon? Communication and understanding. Yeah. So supposedly matakol nata na nato ang topic nga kaning doors. Ang next topic nato will be doors to ideation. And I hope nga sa sunod nga activities lahi na pud ang maningog, no? Supposedly ang kadtong kani siyang sa tawag gani kaning mga presenters trabaho na siya ni sales and marketing nga role, no? Sila gito mo baligya sa inyong product, sila mo baligya sa inyong idea. Hello, napa ko? Magnawala
Ako
ko.
ma'am,
Unsay nakita ninyo diha?
imuhang ano ma'am, just
Akong flower, sige na lang. Ako na lang i-stop a presentation kay wa naman ko ano. So mao to siya. So ang next topic na to would be unsaon na pag-ideate, and there are ways kung unsaon gyud nato pagsugod pag-ideate, no. Although naa natay topic about sa opportunity recognition, but ato pa siyang i-deep dive sa sunod nga meetings. Sige, who wants to say her or his thoughts? Basig napay ikabili ninyo before ta mo end. Wala na? Time is 5:58. So I hope nga nag-enjoy mo sa inyong brainstorming with your teammates and gipaste na nako ang attendance. So, excited ko nga makadungog sa inyong mga feedback and sa inyong mga insights, sa inyong mga comments and learnings. So, kung wala na, raise hands. Alright, and then thank you so much for joining in, and then pwede na ta maka-leave. Salamat kayo sa pag-join. See you next meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.